City Jazz Sessions is about great music, arts, and entertainment. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri, and available to performance art lovers worldwide. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. You can email us at cityjazzsessions@gmail.com.
All right, all right. How's everybody out there in the world, in the ethos, in the streaming land on Facebook, YouTube, all them other places that we're gonna hit tonight? I'm very, 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 very excited. Super, super excited. But before we get started, I want to introduce our team here at City Jazz Sessions. We have Leon Davis, who works for us behind the scenes, making sure all of our tech stuff is working and flying beautifully, and lets us know if anything is wrong. He does editing after the facts. It's an all-around wonderful guy. We got Warren Harper, who I think Warren may be joining us tonight in place of my lovely co-host Laker Hewitt, who isn't here this evening. Warren is also the producer of City Jazz Sessions, who brought us in, and a wealth of other people who work on this wonderful project. We also have as a co-host, who isn't here tonight, our dear friend Al Caldwell, bassist extraordinaire, banjoist, Baby Al, we call him, from back in the day in St. Louis. Yeah, and so to introduce, and so now I'm going to introduce one of my lifelong dearest friends and one of the greatest vocalists and musicians I know, the wonderful Lynne Fiddmont.
Well,
And Lynne, yeah, Lynne was just surprised because she didn't know Al was part of this group of crazy this
hi.
either, did you?
Not.
And she
I
knows
did not.
well.
Where you at, Ronnie?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Baby Al,
Al
what
somewhere
happened?
playing that banjo and telling jokes.
With
Okay.
that hat, he has his banjo hat still, like his cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's
Uh-huh.
doing it all, man. He's
That
got
was
some
nice.
crazy, wonderful music. What's he
He
called? A
does.
black hillbilly, something, a blackadilly or something? Yeah,
What is it? Blackabilly?
black hillbilly music. Black hillbilly music.
He was on to something. He knew before we, as a collective, knew about the banjo and Africa and all that. That was good. That was
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah.
Good call.
You know, Al's done his due diligence.
Mhm.
So yeah, Lynne, welcome.
Thank
And I'm
you.
so happy so happy that we were able to get your schedule together and get you to be part of this. It's wonderful. Um, Lynn and I go so far back. It's like when I crawled up out of the dirt, I looked over to the left, and there she was. Although I'm a little
No.
bit older than her, so it must have
See, we already know you started lying already.
Okay.
There she was. No, we
no, but
actually
man,
were about 7 at Steinberg Lake.
that's right.
Skating.
That's right. Ice skating
I
rink.
couldn't really,
That's
I
right.
couldn't really skate. You could skate. I was like,
Well,
ah,
I thought I was gonna be the first black hockey player out there trying to play that hockey for a while.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember all that.
Wow, man. It's a beautiful thing that we're alive and we're well, and we have the beautiful blessings that God has given us, this music, to
That's
continue
so true.
feeding our souls, to help us provide for our children. And I don't know, you got any grands yet? You ain't caught up with me with that
Yeah,
yet, huh?
not yet, not yet.
No, I got a
But my
tribe. I got
son,
grands, huh?
my son just got married last December,
Oh, that's
so
right. Congratulations. Yeah.
they're on the way. They're probably on the way as we speak,
Mhm.
maybe.
Right.
Okay.
As we speak. Who
They
knows?
might be practicing. Anyway, man, Lynn has had an extraordinary, wonderful career. Um, I want to get, I think Warren may have had a question in that regard. Warren, you want to ask her a question right quick? Because I got tons of things that I want us to talk
Well,
about. I want them to share.
like I shared with Lynn when we were just doing a little chat, that I discovered her when she was on that gig with Kirk Whalum, She was a
Oh,
background
yeah, he
singer.
did. Okay, I'm getting
Yeah,
it together.
that
Mhm.
was an awesome series he did. What was it like working with Kirk?
Well, Kirk is one of the best people I've ever met.
Okay.
Just like um, he's humble. He's a great musician. He's honest in his portrayal for his faith. It
Hmm.
feels like he really lives it, like really, really lives it. So that beside along with the quality of musicians and the music they had us do, it was an awesome experience. And actually, I've worked through Kirk through the years on his some of his records. He's worked on some of mine, which I've been fortunate. That's a always a blessing. And just I feel fortunate to call him a friend, really.
Great
Yeah.
guy, great guy. What about
Yeah.
what was this Uncle Peanuts? Was that his uncle? Peanuts Whalen?
It was. I didn't meet him much though because I left St. Louis when I was about 17 to go to school. So I was too young to get in the clubs. And that didn't
Now,
stop
see, I
Ronnie.
met
Ronnie was in the
no,
club long
I was
time
in the
ago,
clubs
right?
in my diapers.
When you came out the dirt and said, "Where the club?"
I was in the back room talking about, man, they killing it, man. Somebody changed my diaper.
Right.
We could go on like this a while. So wait,
I
stop.
know.
Mm.
Yeah. But the Whalen family, yeah, we it's a wonderful family in
Wonderful
St. Louis.
family.
Yeah,
Kevin, all the
Yeah.
yeah,
kids,
Mary Beth, all of them.
children.
There's so many of them. And I went to school with lots of them and we hung out. So it's wonderful,
I did a
beautiful family.
duet with Kevin, and George
Okay.
Duke produced, and
Nice.
Oh,
that was
okay.
really a
Okay.
thrill, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
old boy can croon a little bit.
he can.
Yeah.
He did my Christmas record too. We did "Baby It's Cold Outside," and he did it at his in his studio. I did it at home or somewhere here,
Mm.
and it felt like we were together. So
Oh,
it
beautiful.
worked out nice. Yeah,
Have to go look that up.
I haven't heard that one. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Right.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah,
Oh,
Christmas
oh, yeah, right.
coming up.
Now, where are
So
you?
go ahead, one. I'm sorry.
Where are you living now?
I live
You-
in LA,
Ah,
outside of outside.
okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Cool. Put that on the
yeah,
list,
it's
I
folks.
think
Look
I think
it,
up, maybe.
yeah, it's nice. It's beautiful here. You know, for the most part, the weather is the best part about LA. Actually, the weather and the beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
You know.
For some reason, man, I could I mean the weather was okay to me, but I always had problem with the smog the back in the day when I was there. And also the fact that you had to have a car if you want to get around.
Yeah.
Stuff be stretched out, man.
It is.
Whoa.
It is. It is.
You know.
That's true.
I
That's
think the
the
last time I
worst
saw you was
part.
out there with our dear friend. Yeah.
Yep.
The last time
Uh,
I saw you was out there with our dear friend who passed away, man. The great Wallace
Wallace.
Roney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man.
your friend that you introduced me to lived next door to my son.
Abe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen her recently?
That since he got married, he moved. So I haven't
Oh,
seen.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to follow up on her. She's like my niece. Her father
Mhm.
is a brilliant mathematician, doctor of mathematics at Penn State University.
Mm.
And so I'm like Abe's uncle because when I started teaching there, she was in her early teens, her and her two sisters. And
Now,
he
does
and
she
I are really close friends.
she spell her
Huh?
name ABE? Like I've never heard that as a
No,
girl's
AEB.
name.
Yeah,
Okay, ABE.
AEB. Yeah,
I've never heard
yeah.
that as a girl's name. I've never heard that as a man's name.
Yeah, her full name is Adrian, but she prefers Abe,
Uh-huh.
right? It's I believe it comes from her father's middle name, Elliot, and Adrian, and then their last name is Byrne. So she kind
Okay.
of put together that little thing. I
Yeah.
believe, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But she's another brilliant artist,
Hmm.
vocalist, multi-talented. She plays flute and keyboards and
I heard
all
that.
types
I
of
heard
things.
that.
She's just a wonderful soul. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm glad she's doing well out there.
Hmm.
Anyway, you know, Lynn, you let tell us a little bit about your experience with the great Stevie Wonder, because I know one time you invited me and I came to see y'all at the garden and we had a little jam. I got to jam with Stevie. I was scatting and stuff in the dressing room. But you spent quite a bit of time with him,
I did.
right?
Uh, it is really, it has been one of the joys of my life, really, to be honest. I
Yeah.
always loved Stevie Wonder. He was always super high up on the list. He had to be one or two of my favorite
Oh,
people, artists, And it was
Yeah,
just
he
like,
still is for me.
yeah, me too. And but he
Yeah,
became somebody I know.
right.
And when that happens, it's like the music becomes kind of secondary because he's like a really cool human being. So
Right,
I just
right.
love that I got a chance to be a part of his circle. He still
Right,
reaches
right.
out. I auditioned. I wasn't even supposed to be at the audition. Another girl named Lynne was getting called for the audition, and I answered the phone, and they said, "Lynn, Stevie having an audition." I was like, I'm not the
Yeah,
right
I'm
person.
home.
Can I come too?" I did ask, and so I ended up getting it,
oh,
and I was the
Yeah.
only one that got it that night. It was a cattle call. That
Woo!
was a waste of time. But when
hmm.
he had us sing, he made up little stuff and had us sing. I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning by the time I sang,
Wow.
and uh, he had me sing another song. That was the first
Mhm.
time he had done that. He sent somebody to ask her if she knows Whitney Houston saving all my love for you. And I was like, not really, but I try it. Yeah, yeah. So the guy was feeding me the words and I was singing it and I got it. So I was really
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
So, if you don't mind, how old were you when you first started with Stevie?
I was 26 just last year.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
61 now. Yeah. So I got a chance to do the Super Bowl with him. I got a chance to play for
Yeah.
President Obama with
Oh, wow.
him. And
Yeah.
that was really, it's gone. I left uh, in 88 for a while to do Zawano Syndicate. And then
Right. Right.
I didn't realize I was pregnant. I was eating everything, eating everybody out of house and home. And they were Zawano. I found out the next week I was pregnant. I said, he's going to fire me. I know he's going to fire me. So I went to rehearsal. I said, Joe, I think you might have to let me go, because he said, why? I said, I just found out I'm pregnant. And
Mm.
he said, what better thing to show than life?
What better
I,
thing to show them?
exactly.
so,
You got it.
so, well, I was with the syndicate too. Remember?
Ah, our paths
Yeah.
have gone like this through our whole
That's
lives. So
right. Yeah, I was with Joe Zawin on his crazy butt, trying to act like he's Miles Davis, and see, it might have been different for you, but for us, the guys, he's trying to pit us against other people and all this crazy. So I'm like, man, are you out your mind? Anyway, it
Mm.
was, and it was funny
it was
because how
definitely
that
an
came up,
experience.
huh?
It was
Say that again.
definitely a new kind of experience for me.
Yeah, yeah,
I was usually singing with, I had a different role. So it was exciting for me to just kind of get into a new role, kind of more as an instrument than a
right.
song deliverer.
Yeah, right, right. He was amazing. He's amazing. He had amazing music, man. Incredible music.
Where was he from?
Something else. I'm
Us,
sorry. Zavino, he's from
Yeah.
Austria, Vienna, Austria.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. He was the keyboardist with Weather Report, the great fusion
Right.
group Weather Report, with Wayne Shorter and the original Alfonso Johnson and Eric
mhm.
Gravatt. and Miroslav Vitus was before Alfonso. I know the whole history of all those guys. And it's
Mhm.
crazy because, I mean, my life, I worked with all of them in different settings, but not with Weather Report because Joe didn't want me at the time. I got Peter Erskine was like, well, get Ronnie Barrage. He's like, he wanted Omar Hakeem. So
Uh-huh.
I didn't get to work with the band. Then the band disbanded. I had already worked with, Jocko and Miroslav and Wayne. And then Joe calls me for the syndicate. But he was nuts. But something I wanted to ask you, Lynn. During that time, weren't you also? Oh yeah, you were my boy, my close friend Dennis. Wasn't you with Steve when Dennis Davis was
Dennis
playing
Davis.
drums? Man, I
Yes.
miss Dennis so
I
much, man.
love Dennis Davis. Dennis Davis.
I
Dennis was
know.
the party. He would make the
Yeah,
whole thing happen. Like really a cool thing. It's
yeah,
hard with Stevie not being able to see. He needed some people to kind of like pull up the pull in the crowd, and Dennis
right,
was
right.
the
Yeah,
man for that.
yeah.
He
Dennis
really
always
was.
the life, man. For those of you out there in this land listening to us who do not know the great Dennis Davis, he was one of the amazing drummers with Stevie for quite a few years. Also with David Bowie, also with
Right.
Roy Ayers.
Yeah.
Dennis Davis had an exceptional career.
Wasn't he
Unfortunately, he
with
passed.
Women in the Bottle? What's the name?
Yeah, Gil Scott.
Yes, got Heron. Wasn't he with him too?
Yeah, he did things with everybody. Dennis was one of those cats, and Dennis was one of those players that can swing and play funk and rock too, which I try to. That's he was one of my people that inspired me younger because I saw him when I was very young, playing all types of music. So he was an exceptional person, man, and human being. He passed away, unfortunately, of cancer some years back, but we miss him dearly. You know. So
I
my other
saw him
question,
right before he.
you did?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I spoke to him. We were talking, and he had his children with him
Hmm.
at the hospital. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, weren't you at that same time? Weren't you also playing with another superstar, Phil Collins? Weren't you going back and forth between the two of them?
Not back and forth, but after I got, I don't know when that was, 2003. Yeah, I guess I did go back and forth.
Yeah, I think it
But
was a period where you were going back and forth
yeah,
doing different
1990
things.
is when I did that but seriously record, and 1990 I had a 2 year old, so I couldn't
Okay,
go on the road with
right.
him.
Okay,
They were gonna go for a year, so I was like, nah, I wish I could, but I can't. And so Stevie called, and I did some touring. Yeah, I never even thought about that, but then later I
yeah.
did go with Phil Collins in the early 2000s. Yeah.
So now y'all see you see the weight of this sister here, right? She's an icon herself. Because there ain't too many people out there that's working with those types of icons at the same time and raising families.
Well, you
You
know
know.
what though? I don't even know how I'm still in the music business, because when I had my son, I was like, I don't go on tour anymore. I just don't do it anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. And so slowly but surely, a little thing would creep in and let me do a little. Okay, I'll do a little something. And then as they got older, things got. It just feels like it's supposed to be. It's a funny thing. Like you, when you were a child, you knew you were gonna do this. You knew you Ronnie used to set up his drums. I'm doing a show. He'd set up his drums and just play drums for the crowd. And that was like, but for me, I was just like not really sure what I wanted to do. It kind of fell into place for me, in a weird
Yeah.
way.
Well,
So
everybody has a different path to it, but you know it's
yeah,
part of your soul. It is you. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that comes across when you perform. Anybody hears your voice, it's like, oh, yeah, she's,
Well, I hope so.
this is who.
That's a nice cut. That's nice
Absolutely,
thing.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us some other things about because I know when you were in Boston too. Um, you forged some other relationships with musicians that were coming in and out of Berkeley and things like that. So you
Yeah,
know a lot of the people that have
a
gone
lot
on
of
and done some
people,
wonderful things. Yeah.
so
And
many
Keith
people.
was up there too, right? Your brother?
Yeah. I
Yep.
followed him everywhere he went.
Yeah.
He went to Boston U. I said, I think I'm gonna come to Boston U. He went to Berkeley. But uh, I got my first big tour. Well, not my first big tour. The Crusaders was the first tour I got ever.
Right.
So that was a
Okay.
big deal. But when I moved to
Same.
LA, I got my first tour with Bill Withers,
Right.
based on
I
some
remember you telling me
uh,
that. Yeah.
yeah, based on some relationships with Don Wyatt and some of the people from Berkeley. So that was really a helpful thing to have gone there and made those
Yeah.
relationships to still pay off. And still we still communicate to this day. So
Yeah. Yeah.
then I
So
after that was over, I got an audition for Lou Rawls.
yeah.
And I did
Soul
that for a
Man
while.
himself.
Ooh, man,
Ye-
he had that low voice.
Yeah. You told me you had that gig. I was like, what? Oh
I
man, I
know.
love this Lou Ross.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Then
man.
that's when the Stevie Wonder, Anita Baker audition happened. So
Okay.
that was interesting because Anita Baker called me back, but I had already gotten a Stevie Wonder gig. And
Right.
so that was kind of, I went to her audition after I told her, I called myself being open and honest. I said, I think I have a Stevie Wonder gig. She said, you'll never go on tour because Stevie never goes on tour. I said, okay, well, I'll come to the audition. I didn't sing one note at that audition. She had me sit in the corner
Wow.
and look at the auditions. So, uh, okay.
Because she already knew you had the gig, right?
Mhm,
Probably a little
mhm.
stuff going on right there. You know how
I was like,
some of the
oh,
band leaders got some funny stuff with them. But you know
yeah.
that only happened to me, huh?
I just said, yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know that kind of happened to me only twice. Once was really early on when I had just gotten the gig with McCoy, and I got a call from Alfonso Johnson to tour with him, and I really
Mhm.
wanted to do it because I had all of his records, and he was my favorite. But I had just gotten with McCoy, and it just wasn't going to work because we were touring all the time at that point, right?
All
Um,
the time.
yeah, it's crazy.
Life has changed so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you, those who don't know, I also mentioned Lynn's brother, Keith Fiddmont, who was a phenomenal reed player, tenor, I believe, soprano, and
Yeah.
I believe he was
Ooh,
messing with some flute at
now
times.
too.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
multi-reed. He's
Mhm.
teaching at what's
Santa
that
Monica
college? What is
College.
he?
Santa
Yeah, Santa
Monica
Monica
College.
College.
Matter of fact, he's
That's
the
right.
head of the jazz department.
Wow.
Oh, so they moved him up there now.
Yeah.
Because when I
Mhm.
was out there, he wasn't there yet. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Keith has had a wonderful career too, playing with all types
Mhm.
of people. I think he was on the
Now,
road for a
Clayton
while.
Hamilton. He's doing Clayton Hamilton right now, the Clayton Hamilton
Okay,
Orchestra.
okay,
He
okay,
just did a gig. He doesn't do many solo gigs, but he just did a gig last week.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
With
Yeah, I
Smitty
had to call him.
drums.
Oh,
You
cool.
remember? Yeah, Smitty,
Yeah, of
Ed,
course.
and yeah, Andy
Yeah,
Langham. So he had a good band. So it was nice.
nice. Yeah, I need to call him and catch up with him. I know. I think he was out with who was it? Dusty Springfield or something like that. Somebody, some
Long
rock.
time ago, you mean Ricky Lee Jones?
Ricky Lee Jones. That's who it was.
Who I
Yeah,
like
for a
a lot.
long
I really
time.
like her, actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, musical family, man. I'm fortunate I've known you guys when and now. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Tell us some of your current projects.
Well, I'm working on some new music. I am remaking Someday by George Duke.
Oh man, that's my favorite tune. Surely you'll break my
I
heart, but
know.
I'll be there beside you with lots of love to give.
That's it. I got a
Uh-oh.
version of that I'm working on right now.
Oh
And
Lord.
I know I had to do it because I used to, that was one of those songs I played back I did finish the song. I put the needle right back on it. That was
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
But
Now
I
wait a
did.
minute. Didn't
You,
I introduce you to
you
George
did.
Duke?
I was about to say you did. The aura will prevail, and
Yeah.
she heard my cry. Yes, 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 for sure. And when I worked
Woo!
with him,
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, oh my God, I was more shy around George Duke than I was sort of like Stevie Wonder and George Duke. I was about the same level of, oh my
Oh,
God.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
George is so funny. My wife and I were just talking the other day how you can hear his imprint on so many different gospel artists now too. Because he produced so many people, and they just followed that formula and trajectory of his sounds. You can hear
And
it. It's
you
like, oh
know,
man, that's
Warren,
What was that?
you got
yeah, the
stuck.
gospel according to
Unfreeze,
jazz.
unfreeze. There you go. You
I
got
said
stuck for a
everywhere
minute,
I
and then we didn't hear
go,
you.
I don't know what, but everywhere I go, people ask me about the gospel according to jazz. Everywhere, young musicians, like a lot of young musicians, say, "I remember
Yeah.
you." Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. You got a lot of views from that, I guess.
I haven't looked, but I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a well done show. I mean, he put on a great show. The way they
He-
orchestrated it and all the performers, I just loved it.
Jonathan Butler,
Mhm.
George Duke.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah.
Um, I can't remember who else, but it was packed. Yeah.
Evan.
Yeah.
But George Duke, I'm always like, George Duke. George
Well,
Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had Daryl on. He was my last guest, and he's still going on about when we opened up for George. Because for
I
him,
was there, I remember.
that was, I know.
No commercial potential. That was you
That was
all's
it.
group.
That was
No
the man.
commercial potential. Uh-huh. I was there, me
That
and
was the
Irene, me and my
man.
cousin. Yeah. In fact, I met Ndugu that night.
oh,
Yeah. Who beat the
Ndugu.
crap out of my timbales on that gig. My timbales was laying to the side. I talked about it. I talked to him about it later, man. He was hilarious. Yeah, man. I talked to Ndugu shortly before he passed too, because we
Yeah.
oh, it
we
did.
found each other that well, again. I mean, we used to see each other on the road.
But you know
But
what's funny? He was on that Crusaders gig, my first gig. He was on that
oh
gig.
wow,
And I was
yeah,
like, oh, Ndugu. Because he
yeah,
had been like really cool. I said, I want
yeah,
to be
yeah.
I guess I did want to be in music because I was talking about it then. So
Right.
doing
Yeah.
everything, not
Did
really
I ever
thinking about
t- Did I ever tell you the time when I was out there at Nam? Shonda and I went to Nam, and I saw him at Sabian. I didn't tell you that, right?
I don't know.
At first I spotted Michael Carvin, and I'm like, so I sneak up on Michael, and he turns around, he said, "Yo," and he says, he said, I said, "Oh, that's Ndugu, right?" So he said, "Be quiet." So he took me right behind Ndugu, and then he tapped Ndugu on the back, and then Ndugu turned around and said, "Ready, Mirage!" He jumped like 6 feet in the air. it was it was hilarious because we hadn't seen each other so long, and we just hugged, man.
He
He was
was a
already
special guy.
yeah. Oh yeah, and just always upbeat and positive every time I saw
Hmm
him. Just
I
beautiful,
sang it.
man. I mean,
I sang at his service. You know that? That was
Wow.
no, I
hard.
didn't know. Wow.
Yeah. Hmm
His
Mm.
playing on the tail spinning record, whether we put tail spinning, is what really did it for me, even more so than any of his playing on George Duke.
hmm
He seemed like he was just much freer,
Yeah, he was
on the
filling a
whether we put
role.
them.
Seemed like he was filling a role in George's band more so, like sometimes.
Yeah. I felt that too,
Hmm
yeah.
hmm
But man, I miss him as well too, man. So many great players, but then they crossed our paths like um intently as well as profoundly, and as well as they were very dear people to us, So
hmm
we have a
And
lot of that we share.
someone else I've been working with lately is Azar Lawrence.
Okay,
So
yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
I sang the title track on his upcoming, I guess recently, I think it's out now, New Sky
Oh, nice,
release.
beautiful.
So that's,
Yeah,
that's gonna
Azar
be
is amazing. He carries that trained McCoy feeling. Which there's a lot of great young tenor players out here, but something about them, they just don't have that spirit. Azar has that spirit that takes you to
hmm
that place.
hmm hmm
Yeah, absolutely. When is the record coming out? Do you know?
I, you know what? It's out, I think. I don't keep
Okay,
up with that kind of stuff, but I think it's just out within the last week or so.
okay. Well, I'm gonna look for that. Yeah, look
Yeah,
for
we
that for
played
sure.
Disney's Den last week.
Yeah, you said that right up here in my backyard. I didn't even tell nobody.
Yeah,
Man, I
I
thought
was,
I was
we stayed
special.
in we didn't stay, you are special, but we stayed in New Jersey. So it was like we
Okay.
were in New Jersey and then it was kind of like a,
Well, next time we got to make sure we don't do that. We got to let each other know when we're in the backyard. Speaking of being in the backyard, we gonna be home together in
I
September,
can't wait. That's the
and,
time.
and I'm really happy about that. I think some viewers that we have might um, have heard that. Yes, I have a big project coming up.
I got a
Uh,
text
it's,
about that today.
it's part of it's called Music at the Intersection. It's
Right.
produced by the Cransberry uh, Arts Foundation, as well as my portion is produced also by the South Arts residency grant that I got last year. So I've written a lot of this music. I'm orchestrating a lot of this music, and Lynn is the lead vocalist on a lot of this music, which I
Well,
am excited, ecstatic, because it's been years I've been trying to get her to sing on stuff, and it just
never
schedules
worked
and
out.
it's never worked out. And now we're
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
able to do it at our stomping ground where we actually started doing this, honing our craft.
That's
So
true.
it's for me,
So thank
it's
you for that
historical.
opportunity. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited
Oh,
about it.
absolutely,
That sounds
absolutely. And yeah, and all of the other people that are involved in it, it's just going to be amazing.
It's
It's
gonna
going to be
be fun.
seriously amazing. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be fun.
so.
Yeah,
Leon,
so
Yeah.
man, it's a lot.
the Kransberg quite a few times. So that's when we went
Yeah.
out. One of the places we went to. Nice little spot.
Yeah. Well, you said when we went out to
Oh,
before COVID, you mean?
Yeah,
Before COVID?
COVID, exactly.
Yeah. It's
We
like when we
haven't
went,
been getting out much at all.
right. I
yeah.
hope that I
However,
So
we
hope
do have
that's in
kids.
our distant memory soon.
yeah.
I got one
It's
more.
kind of becoming one here in New York. I want to ask you guys what's happening there because in New York they kind of already lifted the mask mandate. We've only got about 500 cases of the thing here in the
They
city.
did it today. Today is the day they lifted the mask mandate in my area.
Ah, okay. Do you have any
Hmm
idea of the number of cases or anything like that are still
I
happening?
don't. I don't. But
Okay.
it's lower.
Yeah.
It's lower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, it's
Have you
um
had it? Did you
it's
have it?
crazy thing. I had it.
Did you have it,
Yeah, I'm
Warren?
sure I had it.
No, I didn't have it, and I hope I don't get it.
I'm not sure if I
Well,
had it. There was a period where my
yeah.
throat was so dry, I felt like a desert in my throat. And I was like, this
Mm.
is
Right.
strange. This is different. And that's before they had all the tests everywhere. So I think I had it
Right.
too. My kids had it, both of them.
So dig
So
this. I would have had it in the very first strain because after we did that thing with Wallace, I was on the schedule to have gone to Wuhan with him, and we fell out because Wallace and I were always falling out because I would me, I'm straight up honest, and we would talk about different things with his health,
it
and
doesn't work
so he
with
didn't want to
everybody.
hear
That
it.
doesn't work with everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. But the thing is they went. And I don't even know. I know he had other complications. I don't think he passed of COVID, but the entire band was sick when they got back. That I know
Mhm.
for a fact because Antoine told me. But I was taken off the docket. I took myself off the docket because I said, well, I'm not. I I need to take a breather from working with you. But we had gone through that kind of stuff for years, back and forth. We were like brothers. I love him
Mm-hmm.
madly, man. We get in an
Mm-hmm.
argument, we fight, then we call each other, hey man, you gonna play, man? You gonna play? Yeah, I'm gonna play, man. Okay, man, we'll meet you over there, man. Okay, yeah. And we make some great music. And then we fall out again, and that's what it
Makeup
was. But
music. You
that's
had
life.
makeup music.
That's right, for sure. Because we been playing hard, man. No jiving with Wallace. I miss that tremendously. No jiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I said that to say that around that time period, before actually it was official, we got really sick in my household.
Mm.
Both my wife and I were really, really, really sick. Right, like I was on my butt for a good 2.5 weeks, and
Mm.
then we heard about the thing. And I'm like, And then I know recently, since we've been vaxxed and boosted and everything, I know I've gotten it again, but it feels like just a cold, you know.
How'd
And
you know
most
you
people I
had
know about,
it?
I just because it's different than the cold. It feels like a cold, but it lingers a little longer. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it has some things with your throat. And it
Mm-hmm.
just didn't feel normal, right? But the fact that I was vaxxed and boosted, I it went away. So,
Thank
and
God.
most people
Yeah.
I've talked to that took the test and tested positive, they say the same thing. It
Yeah.
felt like a
That's
cold, a little, mild flu, but then
right.
it went away. So,
Yeah. Thank
yeah,
God. And the body is
absolutely.
amazing. Hopefully we'll
Absolutely.
the virus people keep saying the virus is adapting. It's adapting, but hopefully we are too. I think we're the same
Oh,
stuff,
yeah,
made of the same stuff. Well,
absolutely. We have to adapt. I mean, that's
we
the
have to
human
get
body. God made this body
the genius
amazing.
of the human
Amazing.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get
Yeah. So
that
We have to
herd
always remember that too.
what'd you say?
Yeah.
immunity they talk about. Maybe we'll get into that
That's
level.
what I think that's what that is basically the body learning to deal with it and handle it and attack it and
Right.
reject it, get out. So
Get back.
I think Ronnie is frozen.
Okay. Well, so question for the both of you.
Hmm.
Um, one of you's on the East Coast, one of you's on the West Coast. If I wanted to
Hmm.
get out, take a trip or whatever to listen to some good music, how do they compare?
Oh gosh.
Are we back? Okay, yeah, we got stuck for a minute. I think I was the only one moving,
Did you
but we're
hear
back now.
what he said? Did you
Who?
hear his question,
Warren?
Lawrence? What?
Yeah, the question was if I was going to the East Coast or the West Coast, which one, how do they compare music wise?
Oh boy, don't get me started on that. I hate that. A lot of people ask that, and it's like, I don't know. Lynn, you gonna take it. I'm gonna give that to you. You the guest. You in the hot pot.
Well, I think that just like the way that people live here versus the way that people live in New York or the East Coast, it's more aggressive in the living on the East Coast. You have to be more aggressive. You have to be a little bit colder, a little hurried, a little bit more,
Hmm.
and anxious. I'm more relaxed being out here than I am on the East Coast. I love both, but it's just a different approach to life. So it does show in the music. You have great
Mm,
musicians everywhere, and you have not so great musicians everywhere.
Hmm. That's
true.
true. Okay.
True that.
Different
Hmm.
vibes.
Well, yeah, I have to say, I don't even know. I mean, for me, I had a lot of questions at times years ago where they were like, "Well, why don't you move to the West Coast?" And for some reason, I couldn't see myself living on the West Coast. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
like the hustle and bustle of New York. I really do. I love the fact that the energy is always up here.
Hmm.
Um, because within that, I've also found that I can relax. I can relax more. If it's a
See,
place where I have to bring the energy all the time,
right.
I don't know. I don't know. It might be different for me. I don't know. But when I
I think
step
I'm
out my
laid,
door here, I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm laid back. I'm pretty laid
Yeah.
back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for me, when I've stepped out the door, it's like, and I feel that energy. I'm like, let's go somewhere, let's play. So
Hmm.
it's
I can see
but
that. Yeah.
like Lynn hit it though. There's great musicians everywhere, man. I mean, and on both sides of the coast. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, and I'm gonna use the Crusaders because at one point people used to say, "Oh, the Crusaders are good, but they're kind of laid back. They don't have that edge, right?" And I think that's in the time when they were moving from the Jazz Crusaders to the Crusaders, and I
Hmm.
think that was kind of like old school criticism because everybody wanted them to keep that jazz in front of the Crusaders, and kind of push the envelope, right? But
Right.
I'm not gonna say anything because I love the Crusaders. I
It
mean, when I
works.
heard them at SIU as a kid, yeah, and they had an edge. It was different from
Yeah.
the
Right.
people that
Yeah.
I saw on the West come
Yeah.
playing from the East Coast. It was just a different thing. You know,
Yeah.
so
It's
I
all
don't think
about
it was much
emotions.
different.
What emotions you get. What'd you
right,
say?
right,
I
right.
didn't think it was that much difference. I mean, somewhat, but they still had that sound, And I would just focus on the
Yeah,
players like Wilton, and I could tell that it was still them, maybe just some different songs.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
interesting. Like,
they definitely. I'm sorry, they
people,
definitely did move more towards a backbeat when they went to the Crusaders, more towards a kind of
Mhm.
more of at
like
that
a
time people were like, oh, right,
like
right, right, right.
clip clap, clip like a
Yeah,
horse walking, or.
yeah. But yeah. But no, that's great players, man. I mean, George Cables, who's actually from Brooklyn but lived in the West Coast for many, many years, right? And
Right, right.
I've worked with George and in all types of setting, where we're playing straight ahead. We're improvising. We're playing some funky music. We're playing some Latin clave music, and he's just a
Yeah,
master
Right on it.
keyboardist.
he was with
And
Frank Morgan.
all of the records he did. I'm sorry.
He was with Frank Morgan for a
What'd you
while.
say?
Frank Morgan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He was with Frank Morgan. I was with Frank Morgan, that old crook.
So,
But we loved Frank. He would tell us funny stories, man. But he was
yeah.
a different guy. Now I don't even want to get into that because I might get in trouble. There might
I
be
was
some
waiting for
Frank
that.
lovers, Frank lovers on here. Won't come in the next time. But hey, like I said, I tell the truth. So you'll hear it in my book. I'm not gonna put it on here, but it's in my book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny, funny.
So Lynn, tell us some more. Tell us a little bit more about some of your aspirations and things like that,
Mm.
that have and some of the things that really we didn't talk about who actually really inspired you as a vocalist because I don't even know that, and I've always wanted to know.
You
Because
know,
your voice to me is very unique.
people
It
say
doesn't
I
sound like anything
sound
else.
like Minnie Riperton. I don't think
Okay.
that necessarily, but so many people say it, it must be true. And I
Interesting.
didn't listen to Minnie Riperton coming up. I listened to Stevie. I listened to the stuff Keith was playing. Like he would play Eddie Jefferson, he would play George Duke, Stanley Clark, and all
Right.
that stuff too. And so I had a real mix of all kinds of stuff, like the stuff that's on the radio in St. Louis, the Eagles, the Jacksons,
Yeah. Right.
the
Yeah.
Isley Brothers,
Okay.
Right.
America. Like they played all kind of stuff on
They
top 40
did.
radio in St.
They
Louis.
did.
So, and I
Yeah.
appreciated that. I really still wish it was more like that.
Me
But
too. Yeah. That's one
yeah,
thing
so
we were very blessed growing up because it was a diverse mix of music on the radio for
exactly.
sure.
When I went to
Yeah.
Boston, I I don't think they had good radio. They didn't have a wide
No,
range of people.
Mm.
no, they
And
didn't.
they didn't have
Yeah.
the latest music. They didn't I feel like I missed about 5 years of music almost just being there from
Wow.
radio.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah. So, but
So, but
Chaka Khan
okay,
was one of my favorites still.
okay,
But
yeah.
I don't sound anything like her, But
Right,
I
right.
just loved Chaka Khan. And I ended
Mm,
up working with her too. So
right,
that
right,
was fun.
right.
That was fun. Yeah.
So now you dig it as artists. There can be a lot of people that inspires us, and it doesn't have to mean that we emulate how they sound, right? A
Right.
lot of things that we take away from them is their spirit of the
Yeah.
music and their execution of the music. You
Yeah.
know,
Some some aspect. It doesn't have to even be
yeah,
something you hear.
right. Actually, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I
That's right.
I actually I just want to do more producing. I want to do more tracks, get more. I've been practicing piano. And in fact, I did that on Facebook for a couple of months straight. I just said, you hold me accountable. I'm going to practice every night. I hit wrong kind of wrong notes and be like, oops. But it seemed like it was okay with the people. They enjoyed it. So I've been
Yeah, but that
practicing.
was okay. It was honest.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People
It was
like
honest.
honest.
I used to chime in, and I would, even if I didn't have time to check out what you was doing, I say, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And so
That's it.
I'll start
Yeah.
again. But so many people have done it. I just kind of backed away from it just a little bit, just because, you know, it's oversaturated a little bit right now. I feel
Yeah.
like.
What it
Yeah.
did was
Well,
it kind of gave us as listeners a chance to feel like we knew a little bit about you, because it was so
Uh-huh.
personal.
Hmm.
mhm.
That's what people said. So that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works for
Now
me.
those that were listening or saw that, they're waiting on you to do something.
Right, right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to do some new stuff, new music,
Hmm.
start doing some gigs again. COVID is was a real thing. It stopped everything. The last thing I did before COVID was that Prince special with Sheila E. Did you see that?
You know what? I did not get to see that. I kept hearing
It was
about it. I got
really
to check it
good.
out.
Very good. It was
Yeah, I
really good.
know. Yeah. Yeah. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. I think I saw one portion of it. I got to see the
Mhm.
whole thing though.
It was a
Yeah.
Grammy thing, a Grammy sponsored
Right, right,
special. Hmm.
right, right, right.
That
Now,
was really
before
fun.
we go, you have seen quite regularly on the Grammys, right? As
I
background
wouldn't
for folks.
quite regularly. I've been there a couple times, about
Okay,
three or
okay.
four. Not quite
Well,
regularly.
for the average person, that's regular.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people don't get there ever.
Yeah. 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 So, I did it last couple years ago. Yeah.
Right.
And before that, I never
Yeah.
keep track. That's one thing about me. I don't really think about it that much. I think
Yeah.
about tomorrow. I don't think about yesterday that much.
Right, right. Well, that's one of the things that we have to do, and it keeps us moving forward. A
Yeah.
lot of people, a lot of people too, because of like I was even the aftermath of what we were just talking about. People get hung up in what it used to be, you know. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I was just having a conversation with a dear friend today, great musician, who's like, I'm like, listen, things change. We have to adapt. We got to keep moving forward. And with all of
Yeah.
the skills, and I was telling this person, all the skills you have, you don't have to worry about anything. You just got to put yourself out there in a different way now.
Yeah.
You know, the
Reinvent,
universe.
reinvent, reinvent. That's the whole thing.
Reinvent, reinvent. The universe loves it when you keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
You cannot get stagnant and you cannot keep looking back to the past because nothing is ever going to return like that.
That's the thing I do like about doing this Azar Lawrence thing, because I have to
Mm-hmm.
solo like a soloist. Like when I'm doing my own gig, I do what I want to do and they follow me. But this makes me have to follow the changes in a way that I'm not really used to. So I feel like I'm growing that way. That's a good thing
Ah,
about
that's
it.
beautiful.
That's a
Well,
real good part.
on my gig, you're going to have to show me. I've been trying to get you to scat for years. You used to tell me, how do you scat like that? Well, so anyway,
Yeah.
we got some sections for you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay.
Now
I'm
I
excited.
know it's gonna be killer. It's gonna be killer, man.
I'm
Oh man, I
excited,
can't
really. Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have all my favorite people playing my music. It's gonna be amazing and telling this awesome historical story about St. Louis.
It's gonna
This is gonna
be
be nice.
amazing.
It's
I'm
gonna be
excited.
really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm extremely excited. Hey, I think we're gonna have to wind down.
No.
I want to thank you, Lynn, but you're gonna be back
I'm just
because
kidding. I'm just
everybody we
kidding.
have, we're gonna do a part two, you know, and maybe part three and part four. But we
Oh,
definitely you're in the mix, and that's because we have to always, like we said, we're gonna keep moving and growing and moving
Yeah.
forward. So we want to
Yeah.
always keep up with each other
Yeah.
and come
Yeah.
back to it.
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and being with us and sharing that beautiful smile and your personality and everything and that incredible history, which we didn't even touch on, not even a fourth of it. So we have
Well,
way more
thank
to
you
talk.
for having me. Yeah, we'll talk again. I'll try to remember some stuff.
we really appreciate you coming. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
fun.
Absolutely. Oh, and Lynn, this stuff will be available later. So
Okay.
you can post it places on YouTube,
Good.
Twitter, Twitch, other formats, and we're gonna put everything compiled into place and send you links and everything, so you'll be all right. And share it.
Definitely.
We have to keep sharing it because we want to grow our audience for
Great.
these
Yeah.
wonderful St. Louis City Jazz sessions.
Right.
You
Yes, we
know,
appreciate that.
absolutely.
My website is my name, LYNNEFIDDMONT, LynneFiddmont.com. But I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I don't do Twitter so much, but I'm there too. But
Great.
Facebook and Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lynne Fiddmont, always Lynne Fiddmont or L Fiddmont.
Mm.
All
Yeah.
right, Lynn. Love you.
Love you
Talk to you
too.
soon.
All right.
All right.
Thank you
Bye.
so
Ciao,
much.
ciao.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
City Jazz Sessions is brought to you by St. Louis City Jazz, a 501c3 company dedicated to music education and appreciation. The CEO is Magic Man 50, and for more ways to connect with City Jazz Sessions, visit cityjazzsessions.wixsite.com/St. Louis. The City Jazz Sessions team includes host, content director, and guest coordinator, jazz great Ronnie Barrage. Follow Ronnie at ronniebarrage.biz. Host, website designer, graphic artist, content director, and guest coordinator, singing sensation Leica. Discover more about Leica at leicamusic.com. Additional production services are provided by Lions Den Productions. Go to thelionsdenstl.wixsite.com/home. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more great content.